Hello, everyone, and welcome to Radical Thinker, the place where we challenge Western media narratives and perspectives. Today is Tuesday, 14th of April 2026, and also it is the 46th day of the American and Israeli war imposed on the Islamic Republic of Iran. This is my update for today, a short update, I think, because not much has been happening since yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't see again shooting and bombing, and we didn't see, for now at least, the Americans returning to attacking the Islamic Republic of Iran. But this doesn't mean that we are not going there. Probably it's just an intermezzo, a little bit of break. And a new step in this war that the Americans and the Israelis are fighting against the Islamic Republic of Iran. Yesterday morning, as we all were expecting, Donald Trump announced the naval blockade against Iran. It seems that the Americans have around 15 vessels which are currently enforcing the blockade of Iran. They are enforcing it at the declaration level for now, from what it seems, because according to tankertrackers.com, which is a popular page on X, which is following how cargo boats, oil tankers, and ships in general, vessels are moving on the planet's oceans and seas. According to them, everyone keeps asking about the Strait of Hormuz, but we can't keep our eyes off the tankers that are still loading oil in Iran, as well as departing those terminals. It's quite baffling to spectate, even after Trump's many proclamations and orders. So, for now, according to tankerstrackers.com, everything works as usually does. Everything is normal. There are a lot of oil tankers going to the ports of Iran. They are taking Iran's oil, and then they are crossing the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf. It seems that also yesterday there was one, let me find where it was the news exactly. There was one Chinese oil tanker which also crossed the Strait of Hormuz, and the Americans didn't attempt to capture it or to fire at this vessel because, of course, I think, besides the fact that Trump is bragging and putting a lot of pressure on Iran in order to get them probably again to a negotiating table, I don't think that even Trump is so crazy to escalate so much and shoot at Chinese oil tankers or Russian oil tankers, because this would lead to a new level of escalation which would go beyond the region of the Middle East, and then all bets would be set loose. Therefore, for now, Trump is just playing this crazy game of countering Iran's blockade with another blockade. And as I was saying yesterday, look carefully at the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, because we might see in the following days or weeks the Ansarullah of Yemen, the allies of Iran, imposing another blockade. So a blockade meant to counter Trump's blockade, which is also another blockade meant to counter the Iranian blockade. Everything is becoming more and more ridiculous, but as we see, we are in 2026, which seems to be, at least in its first part, we are just in April, a crazier year than 2025. But this is what happens when we have a lunatic and a deranged clown in the White House, a deranged clown which yesterday, as everyone saw and I discussed in yesterday's episode, he started to portray himself on Truth Social as a sort of Jesus Christ. His post didn't go too well with American Christians, didn't go too well, I think, with Christians in general, and also didn't go too well with Muslims, because in Islam, Jesus is a very important prophet, and this kind of silly jokes that Trump is making when he portrays himself as Jesus Christ are considered to be blasphemous for many Muslims. Even the president of Iran yesterday posted on X, and he addressed himself to the Pope in Vatican, saying, "His Holiness Pope Louis XIV, Pontifex, I condemn the insult to your excellency on behalf of the great nation of Iran, and declare that the desecration of Jesus Christ the prophet of peace and brotherhood, is not acceptable to any free person. I wish you glory by Allah. So, as we see, the Muslims are more respectful these days to the holy figures of Christianity, and they are not really going too well with such acts, such crazy acts committed by Donald Trump, which have become the norm in the West, where mockery of religion and of people's beliefs is like the new normal, unfortunately. And this is not only happening in the United States, it's something more and more usual also in many Western European countries. Fortunately, we still have some Eastern European countries, and we have Russia, where Orthodox Christianity it's still active, and people continue to respect and to hold high the holy figures of Christianity, which should be the normal, because otherwise, if we don't have anything holy, we would go into a world of complete anarchy, without morality, without values, and without compassion or care for our fellow humans, which of course this is what Donald Trump is lacking. After seeing the huge clash which unfolded after his crazy post, he appeared in front of the White House, and he had a short press conference where he said that people misunderstood his post, and that he was depicting himself as a doctor and not as Jesus Christ. A funny way of trying to explain the situation, because it was obvious from the post that type of AI design was inspired by common Christian themes, and it was clear that the direction was to portray Donald Trump as a savior, as a Jesus Christ Messiah figure, at least for his MAGA base. But I think even a big part of the MAGA base didn't enjoy too much that post. Trump said it wasn't a depiction. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker, which we support, and only the fake news could come up with that one. And if it wasn't enough for Trump trying to explain what is not explainable, Vice President J.D. Vance later doubled down on this AI-generated picture, and he said, I think Trump was posting as a joke, and of course he took it down because he recognized that a lot of people weren't understanding his humor in that case. I think Trump likes to mix it up on social media, and I actually think that is one of the good things about this president, because he is not filtered. He doesn't send everything through a communication professional. This is what J.D. Vance, the American vice president, is saying. And this is the character which many people are regarding as the same person in White House currently. So he's happy with Donald Trump posting himself as Jesus Christ, and he thinks it's a good thing that Donald Trump doesn't have a filter. He doesn't have a communication professional taking care of his social media posts. And we saw where this took and what happened last week when Donald Trump was writing frantically on social media, on his social media channel, on Truth Social, posting that he is going to bomb the shit out of Iran and he's going to destroy Iranian civilization and he is unstoppable and he obliterated everything. And as we know, for more than 100 times he is telling us on a daily basis that Iran doesn't have a navy and has been obliterated, and that they must reach a deal, but they are crazy and they don't want to reach a deal, and so on and so forth. So this megalomania, this paranoia, this psychosis that Trump is exposing to everyone through its posts on social media, on Truth Social, are regarded as a cool thing by J.D. Vance. I'm sorry for those people in the United States and even elsewhere who are putting their hopes that maybe, who knows, one day J.D. Vance will take a step and he would declare Article 25 and remove or suspend at least Donald Trump from his role as acting president for lacking the mental capabilities and for being basically mentally insane. I'm sure that this will not happen, and I think that J.D. Vance sooner or later will become a mini Trump, because he seems to be very fond of what Donald Trump is currently doing. And when it comes to complete chaos and to a complete blackout in his mind, Donald Trump, I think it's the king of chaos. He started the war. Then he told Iran, don't close the strait. Then in the middle of the war, he said, we, the United States, are going to open the strait. Then he was asking NATO countries to come to the rescue to help the Americans open the strait. Then near the end of the first phase of the war, he said, yeah, but it doesn't matter if the strait opens, because anyway, we don't care. We, the Americans, have no business with it. Then when the hostilities ended last week, he said, yeah, damn it, let's open the strait. And after the negotiations failed some days ago, now we are seeing Donald Trump saying, we are going to close the strait. Yeah, but dude, Iran already closed the strait. At least it closed it to you, to the American vessels, to American interests, and also to ships which would bring oil to the state of Israel. So it's complete insanity. I mean, it doesn't make no sense. But what makes sense when it comes about Donald J. Trump? And I'm thinking about schools of politics and, international relations, how they are going to study in 20 years from now this period with Donald Trump as acting president of the United States, the 47th president of the United States, for the second time in this position. I mean, everything which happens, as I said, is pure comedy. But unfortunately, it's also very serious, because this deranged individual, it's also responsible, and not only him, because we know that he's just a puppet, he's blackmailed, and he's under pressure from the Israelis, but still he's the president of the United States, and according to American propaganda, he should be the most powerful person in the world, because this is how the Americans like to portray their presidents as the most important and the most powerful people in the world. And still, this guy can't even reason and can't even understand that his actions will have serious counter reactions coming from the Iranian side, and that when he is imposing now a blockade against the Strait of Hormuz and against the Persian Gulf, this will surely backfire, because the Ansarullah movement is just waiting for the right moment to impose another blockade in Bab el-Mandeb, and this will literally creep Western economies, which are already boiling under this situation created by the American and Israeli war against Iran. This is my update for today. Nothing else happened. Maybe if I want to talk 1 minute, I will talk about Lebanon. Yesterday, we had the speech of Naim Qassem, which is the Secretary General of Hezbollah, of the Lebanese resistance. The Israelis are still trying to get their hold on Bin Jbeil town and Al-Qiyam. Hezbollah is holding very tight. They are fighting very, very hard to keep the Israeli army from advancing. Israel still plays the dirty game. Supposedly today in the United States, some Lebanese officials from the Lebanese government are going to meet the ambassador of Israel, or some Israeli officials, and try to begin a process of negotiations, which is also illegal according to the Lebanese constitution. The Lebanese government should first change the constitution, which forbids them from engaging in diplomacy with the state of Israel, which is considered, and is rightfully considered by many countries, and also according to the Lebanese constitution, to be a rogue nation, which is what exactly it is, a rogue nation. This is what Israel is in 2026. But it seems that the Americans, they managed to put a friendly government in Beirut, and this friendly government is trying to openly now negotiate some sort of a peace deal with Israel. And Israel is using this pretext to foment chaos, tension, and disunity among the sects in Lebanon, in order to create another civil war. and to pit the Sunnis, the Christians, I don't know, also the Druze against the Shias, to fight against Hezbollah, and to fight the dirty war for Israel, to destroy Hezbollah and disarm it. And if this would be to happen, then Israel will have a green light and clear path of colonizing the south of Lebanon, and after that, probably some parts of Lebanon would be taken by Jolani and his gangs coming from Syria. It would be a disaster for Lebanon, which is already in a very weak and disastrous condition. Lebanon without a functioning economy, without a real functioning army and government, it's still holding, by one foot. They are standing on one foot, and that foot it's Hezbollah. Hezbollah basically it's holding the ground, and it's protecting the territory and the territorial integrity, the sovereignty of the Lebanese state, because the Lebanese army, it's not interested in doing so, and also it doesn't even have the capability. When the IDF started the ground invasion some weeks ago, literally the Lebanese army ran away, which is very, very shameful. I'm closing the video here. This is everything for today. If you want me to discuss other topics, if you have relevant questions for me, please write them in the comment sections. If you like my content, like, subscribe, also follow, and until tomorrow, I'm wishing you all the best.